Hello, Dan Johnson here at Sun and Fun 2012, and I am sitting in a brand new airplane that no one has even seen. It's so new, it's still got the plastic on the covers because they don't want to get it dirtied up, and I understand why. This is the Tecnam P92 taildragger, and we have not seen this before. We're talking to Phil Solomon, who is the head of Heart of Virginia Aviation, the company that is the representative in Tecnam North America. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you very much, Dan.
And we're glad to see you.
Great to be here.
We're really pleased to see this little airplane, but what I'm looking at here, beside the fact that it's a taildragger, I don't think, have we had a taildragger from Tecnam before?
No, you haven't. One of the big differences with this one is that it's actually an evolution of the P92 series of aircraft that actually is in its 20th year since they first designed the aircraft. Generally speaking, they've all been nose gear aircraft, but basically the demand in the market we've seen has been heavily towards taildraggers, lots of new aircraft, and a lot of the sort of retro look as well. And so in designing this aircraft, both the colour scheme, the choice of engine, the chrome that you have here on the sticks, and in fact the chrome that you have on the
the rudder pedals are chrome too, I see.
The entire look is designed to be a little bit of retro, but with modern equipment. And so as a standard package on this aircraft, it comes with an engine monitor, and in fact engine monitors are now going to be standard for the whole Tecnam range of products. And
this one here has the Dynon in it. I assume Correct. There are various choices that they can pick.
Actually, it will be standard, the Dynon D120 for this model.
Is this a standard panel, what we're seeing here,
or
the base panel anyway?
That would be a base panel. The addition actually to this panel would be the addition of a transponder, an intercom, a GPS, and also a miniature PFD. So you'd have absolutely everything you need to do to go safe day-night VFR cross-country flying and have fun. Another really big difference between this model and some of the other models is, as you can see with the huge cowling out there, we have a Lycoming engine underneath there. So the Lycoming 233, in addition to offering the Rotax 912.
It'll be available with either?
It will be available with both.
Customer choice thing?
Absolutely. Okay. And you know, a lot of people like the Lycomings. They've been around for a long time. Other people prefer to get a little bit more useful load and would go with the Rotax. Both are superb engines. We're pleased to have both of them in the fleet. It's
good to give choice too, and I know that they took out quite a bit of weight from the 235 that people do know. The 233 has been lightened a lot. It's not as light as the Rotax, so you do get more useful load with the Rotax, but if you have a familiarity, and I'm guessing the taildragger might appeal to a lot of folks who go, you know, I have a Lycoming experience, I want to stick with it. It's great you offer that. Well, P92 and all of the Tecnam models have a number sequence, something like that, and it reveals the date of, I think, design, not early manufacture necessarily. So the P92, and we're in 2012, there's your 20 year, but your company has been around 20 years as well, you told me.
That's correct.
Heart of Virginia Aviation in its 20th year, so double birthday party. Huh?
Absolutely. First started with the Grimes family, Tommy and Kim Grimes, going back to 1992 in Farmville, Virginia, and since then has grown significantly.
Excellent.
To be what it is today.
Well, you mentioned the other models of Tecnam, and believe me, you got to get out an encyclopedia here to keep track of this company. I wrote a piece about calling them the design juggernauts because it seems like there's no end to the models that you guys can create, but you have, in using that and a sales tool now, you have a whole new program that sounded pretty interesting to me, and it involves some of those models. Can you tell us briefly what that's about, Phil?
Yeah, absolutely. We call it the One Per State program. The One Per State is a sort of recognition that we need to get our name out more across the whole market, and also a recognition that customers don't necessarily relate to Tecnam being a company that's originally from Italy, and so we're looking to be the Cessna, if you like, of the 21st century. And one of the ways of doing that is we're offering customers, under what we call our One Per State program, the ability to get 20% off the base price of any of our light sport models, but you have to be the first customer of that particular model under this program in that particular state. So as an example, on the 2008, that is worth $29,180 off the base price. And in the case of this aircraft here, which would normally retail at a starting retail of $138,000 with the Lycoming engine, you'd actually get it fully equipped for $121,220.
Wow.
If you go with the Rotax version, it's actually just over $107,000. And that whole program applies to 10 models. Going from the 2 taildragger models, we now have 2 amphibian models, both based on the Eaglet and on the Echo Classic. Goes through the Bravo, the normal Eaglet models, the Sierra, the P2008, and so on. Total of 10 models. So there could be up to 500 lucky people in the States who can get hold of some really, really sharply priced aircraft.
Well, we are making this video in 2012, and those numbers may change and the program may change somewhat, but I think a 20% discount off of one of these marvelous airplanes. And you know, I have the opportunity to talk to a lot of people in light sport and around aviation, and I don't recall that I've ever had anyone tell me that they didn't not only like but love the way Tecnam aircrafts fly. They are a well-received airplane, and you spoke to being the Cessna of the 21st century, but with that in perspective, I think it's important to note that Tecnam is a company that goes back to, I believe, 1948. Is that correct?
That's correct, Dan.
So this is not a Johnny-come-lately company. No. You know, that's as older than many aviation companies in the LSA space. I think it's probably the senior company as far as the length of time that it's been around. And Apollo's father, I believe, is Luigi, is it? And he is still, isn't that the correct name?
No, his
or is he the uncle or something? Okay,
no, his
Giovanni.
Father was Giovanni, but the uncle is Luigi, and he is still he's still the designer.
And he's still cranking out design after
Absolutely,
design.
every one of the designs here is his design.
It's hard to believe. He's an older gentleman now, but he is obviously not getting slowed down much by that seniority, we'll call it. So. And then you've got this whole fleet of Tecnam LSA. In fact, there are so many we can't do justice to it on this video. So if we want to find out more about all this, and of course people are watching these videos on the web, so they're already in front of their computer, where do they go to find out more stuff about the whole Tecnam line?
Well, first website to go to is www.tecnam.net, and that is the website for Tecnam North America. Go to www.tecnam.com, and that is the Italian website for international things, and there's a few extra things on that website. And then to find out a little bit more about Heart of Virginia Aviation, go to www.flyhover.com, and you can see a little bit about what we get up to on our full service FBO operations.
And if you couldn't keep all that straight, I've got links to all of that on my site, and you can find lots of videos about Tecnam products, you can find flight reviews, you can find news, lots of things about Tecnam on bydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com. We're reporting here from Sun and Fun 2010. Thanks very much, Phil Solomon,
Thank you very much, Dan.
from Tecnam North America.